Are you listening? Are you watching? You know what it is, not just boxing. From the canvas to the madness, sit down and get yourself locked in. Are you listening? Are you watching? You know what it is, not just boxing. From the canvas to the madness, sit down and get yourself locked in.
Legacy can help you make a lot of money, especially if you know how to use your money correct. Because in the past, you've seen fighters that wasn't managed well. I think they didn't have the right team around them, and then it showed. Like they made millions. Look at Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
That's the biggest example you can use. Even Mike, he wasn't, I think, in my opinion, managed well. And then, it showed. Like all the money he lost. Now, thanks to God, he actually made it back. So I'm actually happy for him. Where he's gone to, and then now he's back up. So it's good, man.
Do you think him fighting Jake Paul at 58 is a bad idea?
Do you know, if he can get the job done, then why not? You know, obviously it's a big money fight, and obviously a lot of people are big fans of Mike Tyson, and either way, if he wins or lose, people still watch him. You know? So,
in my opinion, I think age does play a part. I think Mike's probably got a couple rounds to try to take him out, but when you're fighting somebody that's young, hungry, especially like Jake, from what I see, he can hit hard. So from what I've seen, I think it's dangerous. I know people are going to say, oh, but it's Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson not the same as he was years ago. When you get older, your punch-resistant goes, everything goes. You taking a shot gets worse and worse. Your power and everything's still there.
Yeah.
But, you know,
20 years as well of, like substance misuse and just being out of the game for so long and everything else. I think in his last 5 fights, he had already lost 3 or 4 of them anyway.
Yeah.
Some of them in quite bad style. So when you're looking at someone nearly 60 years old, it's, he can, you see those training clips that are 10 seconds long, he has got it in him, but if Jake Paul just takes him on the guard, I hate to say it, but I think Jake Paul wins.
Yeah, and that's not like a stick to Mike Tyson, it's just that age catches up to everybody.
Age is a difference, obviously different ages, and Mike Tyson obviously is a legend in sport, so either way, it's a good, big match as well, so which is good.
Yeah, so many people are still backing Mike.
Yeah.
So many people, I can see so in the first few rounds, but there's a lot of people that really see him as that same guy that...
Yeah, I'll tell you why, because Mike has with the casual fans, that's him. Everybody loves Mike. Even when you first start boxing, you think, Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson. Yeah. So with the casuals, they're like, yeah, bro, Mike Tyson gonna knock him out, it's Mike Tyson. But of course, as a boxer, in my opinion, from what I've seen with boxers, when they get older and older, look, example, Evander Holyfield. I don't know why they let him fight. He's a legend, he's done what he done. He was a beast in his time, but he fought, not even a young fighter, he fought a young girl fighter, but he was still a bit old and he knocked him out. So, I don't know, I don't want Mike to fight him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If he does good, then he's definitely something else, but I don't think he'll do bad, but I just think him taking shots and that might just not be the same as it was before.
So you started boxing late at 19.
I did.
What got you in the gym at 19 thinking you're going to give it a go?
You know what, I'll be honest with you, I started boxing first properly when I was about 13. And that's because at the time in my school, I thought if I don't learn how to fight and defend myself, I'm going to get eaten up in the school. Because that time my school was it was quite rough. So I said, yeah, you know what, I got to learn. So when I learned, I went to boxing, learned, but when I stopped boxing, I was kind of using it in a negative way. I was just fighting on the roads, I was fighting in school, I was getting kicked out of school, kicked out of college. But when I got kicked out of college, that's when my cousin goes to me, you know what, start boxing, because of course fighting is something that you seem to enjoy, so why not? And then I remember I said, yeah, you know what, let's give it a go. But that was after a million lectures that my cousin used to give me. So literally, I remember when I got lectured the last time, I said, yeah, you know what, it sounds good, because he was saying you can make a lot of money out of it, you can help your family, you can help people, you can just, do good things with your boxing. And I said, you know what? I said, that sounds good, because what else am I going to be doing with my life? Can't be flipping.
What was the alternative?
That's what I don't know.
You didn't have one?
I was just thinking, what am I going to do? I was 18, turning 19 that time or something, when I was thinking about it. But then later on, I was about 19, I turned 19. And then I said, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go back to the person I started with, who was Tunde Ajayi at the time. Started with him again. And then from there, I never looked back. I was just training. And then when I got carded as an amateur, when I was about 20 years old, I said, you know what, I'm going to stop all this trouble on the streets, all this madness on the streets, all this stuff I'm going to stop. Because now that I got carded, I said, yeah, I can't be doing that no more. And then literally, bro, best choice I ever made in my life. Because boxing, it gave me so much. It made me meet great people, amazing people. It taught me how to, you know, humble myself. And also, in a weird way, my religion and boxing, a lot of things that they teach goes hand to hand. So I think it helped me change as a man and as a person. So
brilliant. And you've had a completely different way into boxing, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had obviously a different way in what happened with me when I was young. I was 4 years old. I had ADHD, and then obviously my dad got me into boxing because I was trying to, drain my energy in a good way, such as boxing. And boxing kind of helped my life where I got to, because obviously when I was growing up, I never used to have a good childhood because obviously I never used to go out with all my friends and all do that stuff. But obviously I'm grateful for everything that happened in my childhood, because my dad guided me to the right path into boxing. So, and it all goes down to my parents, it goes down to my team for getting me where I am. And I'm very grateful and thankful for where I am. But it's good, he's right, because he also meet great people, such as I met him from boxing, Bilal. So I know him for years. I know him since I was a kid. So and he's like a big brother to me, So yeah.
My name is Dennis McCann, professional boxer for Frank Moore and MTK Global. This is Fortress Boxing. A lot more protection. It's a no-brainer around your thumbs, around your knuckles, around your wrist. That's exactly where I have the problems at. They're very compact, so I feel like I'm punching hard with them on as well. And I feel like when you got sparring 14, 16 ounce gloves, the smaller wraps can't really. They're too small for the gloves. That makes sense. So these are a bit bigger, and they're getting the gloves a bit more, making them more compact. 1, 2, 1, 2, go.
And what point did you start to see that you've got a real future in boxing? I know obviously you started from young. At what point, I know you're 10 times national champion.
Yeah.
Was it that first national champion when you were like, you know what, this could be my life?
I think my dad saw the potential I had when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So I think he knew exactly what to put my talent in, which is boxing. And then after that, it's more of just like building up my slowly getting the experience, slowly moving up, winning the nationals, and then now I'm professional, 11-0, European champion. So hopefully, I've got ambitions to become world champion as well. So, and inshallah, 100%. And then it's now it's just in case I've got big fights coming up. I need to put the best performance of my life, and there's always. The thing with boxing is always good and bad stuff where you can just drain your energy into. So
the sacrifice that goes into boxing, it probably ties in well with your religion anyway, because you appreciate that from a young age, that you only really, when you're mature in the Western world, then you start to see it. But for you guys, like you see just how special it is. Any religious fighter, whether it's Christianity, Islam, it's special.
It is special. It is special. And I think faith plays a big part, because look, our religion tells us don't drink. We, of course, seen what drinking can do to people, even as a fighter. It can damage you, doesn't make you think straight, you don't feel right. Smoking, same thing, damages your lungs. All these things that are so-called in our religion haram, it's for a reason. And boxing, they tell you what, sleep early. Same thing in our religion. They tell you sleep early, wake up early. For example, morning prayer. But why that worked so well for me is because I used to wake up in the morning, pray, and then I'll go for my run. Then I'll come home, shower, sleep, wake up, train again. So it worked so well. And like I said, the most important thing was the character that it changed me into. And bro, like I said, man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for what it's done for me. I'm grateful for what boxing's done. And yeah, man, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Does it give you a sense of security when you're in the ring in those moments as well, when you've got the faith? Do you feel that before? Do you see a lot of fighters before the fight starts, you say whatever short prayer, whatever it may be?
Yeah.
Does that give you that guard, that strength?
Yes.
100%. It's like, when you say that prayer before going in, or, looking at the opponent, then you're obviously asking, obviously Allah for for help, because this is
victory,
where victory as well. So, you know, it's like you got a shield around you, you know, when you go into it, you got like a bubble that you know that you pray, then hopefully you're going to come out successful when, you know, winning. So, you know, religious is a big part in boxing, and he's absolutely right, you know. We wake up early, we pray early, we go to sleep, wake up again, train, and, you know, for like in a religious purposes, like what you said, that drinking, smoking, and all these are forbidden. But obviously in reality, a lot of people do drink, smoke, and do all that stuff. But when you look at it, imagine cutting that out of your life completely. Not even just for boxers, just like for other people, such as, you know, yourself and other people, you know, like just like a normal guy doing the day-to-day job. Yeah. It's like, you know, you can just cut it out. That'll make it, you know, make it better in life. So obviously you don't drink. I know you don't drink. I can tell that because you look like you're in great shape.
Yeah, thank you. No, so, you know, I've been in and out of drinking, but I've gone long spells without drinking.
Yeah, and you feel much better, don't you? Like,
you know, like people get caught in the day-to-day things and they can't see past that short-term stress. And when you are making the bad decisions, when you are waking up a day after drinking or whatever it may be, you are so set back. And people don't realise, but that little setback, that's forcing you from never getting the career you want, never progressing in anything. So I think
obviously drinking and other stuff, they're more like socializing, you know, for people. But when you look at it, you can do that, but have like, you know, when you go out, just have a, I don't know,
you can do that, you can just
have a 7-Up or something.
Have water. Have a 7-Up or something.
Unfortunately, British culture, especially the way I was brought up, you know, I was drinking at like 15, and it's just what you do. You know, it's like when you're around it, and that's sort of all you know.
No, of course,
it's something that you're influenced by. But when you start getting older and making your own decisions, and you start knowing what's right and wrong. Obviously, I didn't have religion to guide me then. Of course, I had boxing that pretty much put me on the straight and
100%,
kept me away. So, but yeah, I think a lot of people are lost, and a lot of people are in that nasty cycle, especially in England. You know, you've got winter for 6 months. And then you've got people through that winter that are just like, you know, they're not liking their lives. They're waiting for the weekends, and it's not a nice way to live. Whereas people that like yourselves, like you said, you meet great people in boxing.
100%.
It's an absolute pleasure to be sat here with both of you. You
Thank
know,
you, bro. Same with you.
to network with these people and to be around inspirational people. It opens your eyes to what you're capable of. And when you compare yourself to the elite and the high level, other people comparing themselves to like other average people that are doing those things, if you understand. So I think having that ambition as well, it's something that everyone needs, and boxing gives that to you.
It does. And another thing you said people like they don't enjoy their lives, but I think boxing gives you that mental strength where you're just saying days are gonna get better, and then you just fight through it. Boxing is a sport, like, I mean, it's a fight, but also it helps you so much in life, everyday life. You're like, you know what, I'm going to get through this. It could be the hardest test, you say, I'm going to get through this. That's because boxing is the same. When you're in the ring, you might be feeling a little bit, but you're like, you know what, I'm going to get through this, I'm going to fight through this. And that's a fighter. But being a fighter doesn't just necessarily mean just swinging punches. It could mean in day-to-day life, you waking up, you fighting through your bad times, you know, to get to the good times. And everyone has it, man. Remember one thing, social media, it's a thing where like a lot of people's lifestyle ain't that. So for the people that are watching, if they watch this, remember one thing, social media. I could take a picture of the sky right now and say I'm in Dubai living right now, and people believe it. But really, I'm just here in London. So it's a big lie. But people get depressed by looking at these lifestyles, and they're like, oh, why don't I have that? But remember, a lot of it is a lie. But in my opinion, keep working hard. Stay faithful. Whatever's written for you will be written for you. And that's it, man. It's pretty much that simple. It sounds hard, but it's simple, man.
So, a great question I want to ask is, when
let's do it.
I've got quite a few. To be honest, this could last for hours, but I know you've got a time restraint. So when you turned professional, was everything already laid out for you? Has your dad been that kingpin the whole time in sorting everything, or was it quite a tough transition?
It was. You can say it's a tough one because obviously you need the right people around you. You know, obviously at the start of my career, I didn't know who was what, and you know, obviously I didn't know what was going on. Obviously, when I got older, then I was starting to realise who's what and who's this person, who's that person. But I've got a great team now. I've got the best team. Obviously got trainer Shane McGuigan. Obviously he manages me as well. I've got the people around me that love me the most. And I just need that circle. I just need the people who love me the most and my team. That's it. And the thing is, with the professional game, you've got to be switched on, like what's going on around you, like such as contracts, people around you that want to come in, and why do they want to come in? Do you understand? Like you got to have everything written in the professional game. And for my team, I've obviously got the best team ever.
Yeah, it's great to hear you talk about a team, because where boxing is an individual sport, and a lot of people see, let's say, your explosive knockouts and everything you've done, a lot of people see that, but they don't see that tight-knit circle that you need to get to that level.
Yeah.
That small group of people that can elevate you, make the, do the ticket sales, like take the stress off your shoulders, make sure that your personal life is intact. As if your personal life is, if you've got issues going on there, then you're never going to be able to be focusing in your professional career.
Yeah.
So having that short-knit team, it's nice to hear that you appreciate it and you've got that.
100%. It's true. Like, when you've got a good team around you, they can do all the headache for you, like such as contracts, tickets, sponsorships, everything. So which is a good thing in boxing.
Yeah, because I've interviewed people that have had, like, they've done the ticket sales, they've gone up through like the small hall shows and everything, and it is admirable just how much hard work they have to do. The fight for 4 or 6 rounds is the easy bit. The 3 months leading up to it, and the pull-outs, and having to deal with everything on their own, and having coaches that they might not trust. Like, that's a big part of boxing.
It is. Yeah.
That's the majority of professional boxing, really. It's such a slog.
Yeah.
And then I think that's probably part of the reason why so many people are so toxic, and there's a lot of issues in the world. But when you've got that right team from the start and you've got that vision, trust is probably the biggest thing, right?
It is the biggest thing, man. And I think it's very important to have trustworthy people around you, Like, nowadays, I think I just see more bad than good, if that makes sense. I know there's a lot of good in the world, but I just feel like everyone should always try to better themselves, whether that's not talking bad about people, whether that's not being jealous of people, trying to help people more, speak good to people, just speak more positive, I think there's a lot of negative people in the world, and that could be like a downfall for you if you got that in the circle. So it's best not to be negative, it's best to be positive and be around positive people, man. Like I said, in boxing I met amazing positive people, and not just boxing but in life, but boxing I met a lot of positive people, and it helped me as a person. Like I said, when I said it helped me, it helped my character. It actually did make me more positive, because I realized, words are powerful, and the way you speak to people can help you, heal you, and just so many things, bro, I learned. And I always try to teach the younger generation how to be better. And that doesn't mean I'm perfect, because I'm still going to be making a lot of mistakes along the way, and learning and whatever, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to always pass that knowledge to the younger generation, or even some older generation. Some people with the older generation, they need some help as well sometimes. Sometimes you might even listen to younger people than you that have more knowledge in certain situations. And yeah, bro, you should always learn. Don't ever think, oh, he's younger than me, I don't need to learn from him, or this person don't know nothing. Because then that becomes arrogance, and that's not...
You can learn something from anyone.
Anybody, literally. Like, you can learn from a novice boxer that might even teach you something. And you've been doing boxing for how many years? So always be willing to learn, always be open to learn. And that would be my advice to anybody that's watching this, or anybody that's watching in general, even the younger generation, to the older generation. So yeah.
I didn't even have to ask that question then. I was going to say, like, near the end, what would you advise people?
Yeah.
So I got one, obviously. What would you advise people that are listening, and what would you also tell your younger self?
To be honest, what I'd advise people is that stay focused, keep the love that you have for people around you, and that's the most important thing. Have a small circle, and the thing is, you gotta in boxing, you gotta stay focused. You gotta where you want to release your anger, just go to the gym. If you've got problems at home, go to the gym. If you've got I don't know, it could be like wife problems or something, go to the gym. Even for anyone, for anyone. So it could be anything. Like, get your anger out in boxing, and then the other thing is always just stay focused. That's the main thing. Discipline, responsibility, everything. For boxers to get to where they want to be, then obviously you've got to stay focused.
When you're in that rhythm and you can be positive, I know that there's been times everyone will go through in life, death of loved ones and all these things. I went through it young with quite a lot. I won't talk about it now, but those few years that I had, the only thing that sort of kept me positive was waking up in the morning, going on that run, thinking about what I'm going to do in the gym later. That was the only thing. And I feel like that's the only thing as well that you can do for yourself. You can't control the uncontrollable. And a lot of people out there are trying to put their emotions in things that they can't control. Whereas if you know you're going to be up at 5 a.m, you're going to go do your road work. You are going to go, you know, tell your parents you love them. You are going to work your hardest with your coach. That has a positive effect. And over time, you get to this level where you're 7-1 as a professional boxer and you've got all these great friends, you're European champion and you're not even scratching the surface at 21 years old. Like that's just all of these accumulative, small, like good positive things that you do every single day. And people don't realise what you do in the day right now is going to be your future.
100%, and that's what people do. Like I said, we were speaking about drinking and smoking earlier. I think a lot of people hide from their hard times with the drinking and with the smoking, but you got to just face the reality and get stronger with it. So that's what I learned and that's what I've seen. So yeah, always fight it. Your days are going to go, your good days are going to come. Bad days, they're never going to last. So yeah, man, just fight it. Don't drink and don't smoke. That's my thing. And don't take no drugs. So
it's an absolute pleasure to have Gymfluencers on board as a sponsor for Season 5 of the Notjustboxing podcast. They've been supporting us since we were on 10,000 followers. If you have over 1,000 followers and you like to showcase your health and fitness journey, or if you're an up-and-coming boxer who likes making content, you can receive free products in return for just the story. You can also work on paid collabs where you set your own rates. They've worked with the likes of C4, Jimmy's Iced Coffee, and Skinny Food Co., and the list goes on. If you want to hit them up, use the code NJB to get started today.
So, the question for both of you, who's the hardest person you've shared the ring with? What have you learned the most out of a spar or maybe a fight with in your career so far?
I think the most valuable rounds I've ever had in my life was against Luke Campbell. I sparred Luke Campbell and that was a really, really good spar. And I was already 18 years old and, you know, getting in the ring with Luke Campbell was a privilege. And when I got in, I learned so much because he's a world-class fighter. And I'm learning every single day. But obviously, I did like over 100 rounds with him for that Ryan Garcia fight. So, you know, that was a great experience for me.
That's incredible. Yeah, and people overlook Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist. I saw him training in Miami, and he is incredible. He is very much overlooked in his career for whatever reasons, but that must have been amazing at 18.
Yeah, really, really good experience. I enjoyed every moment of it, and you know, this is where I got to because of the reason Luke Campbell. So. And also, just you know, it was just great because his IQ level was amazing, and everything that he did, you know, it was very good. It was valuable rounds, you know.
What was the main thing you took away when you were sort of done and you reflected on it?
Sometimes, you know, obviously as an amateur, when I was amateur then, I think I just was going to have my first professional fight. It's what it was is that I never did like over 6 rounds before, or like even 8. So it was kind of new to me. So when I went in there, I had to take my time. I couldn't rush. From the first bar I did, I kind of rushed it. Do you know what I mean? So, but then obviously when I kept doing rounds with him, I noticed that the pace he was setting, everything he was doing is just like, you know, in boxing it's all about timing. So.
Mm-hmm. And what about yourself?
I think the most valuable rounds for me, I sparred a lot of great fighters, but I think 2 people that were valuable for me was Anthony Yard, who I was to train with, and probably even Ahara Davis, because I think them 2, they've been on world stages, they fought against good opponents, and it was just their experience and their knowledge that helped me just improve and improve. So I think sparring them 2 was quite like a thing where I said, you know what, this level's a bit higher in terms of like, I mean, I always got in there, done good, but like certain things they was doing, I was thinking, I can take that and take this and get better as a fighter. So, yeah, man, I think those were great rounds I had and I enjoyed them.
So when you said you were like learning things from both of them, were they probably doing similar techniques to you in terms of punching and defense, but it was all the extra things that they were maybe doing in between? Like, well, can you maybe give a few?
Example, like, it was the little things I was doing, like, it might be a different way of throwing a jab, the sharpness of it, the technique of it, them not rushing when they don't need to, them hitting you in places where you're just thinking, oh, all right, cool, next time gotta watch out for that. And then, yeah, I just think it's a thing where it's hard to explain, but once you're in there, you know, like, all right, cool, this is what I'm going to learn, this is what I'm learning. It's just, like I said, boxing is all about experiences, and life is all about experiences. And
just to be in the same room as world-class athletes, and just to watch physically what they do. You probably shadow boxing, just like the little thing. I can imagine everything that you watch, you soak up, right?
Yeah, 100%. And even like, I sparred champions, this sort of champion, that sort of champion. You spar them and you're like, oh, all right, cool. Like, I didn't know he was a champion. Like, you think you've done that good, you think, all right, I didn't know he was a champion. But then you spar certain fighters, like I mentioned to you, and you're like, all right, cool. These lot are that next step, and you know, you can tell, you can see it. So yeah, man. Like I said, I'm grateful that I've shared the ring with them sort of boxers, and just the boxers in general that I've shared the ring with in the past that helped me elevate my game. So good.
Have you both found at some points that sometimes you find it hard to see past the day in leveling up where you currently are, when you are putting in hard camps and you're giving it your all for your fight, and then you're thinking, like, obviously longer term, at that next camp, how are you even going to do the extra 2 rounds? How are you even going to maybe, you know, just mix it up and just keep learning? Or is there actually that sort of progress where you can see there is plenty going ahead?
There is progress all the time. Like, you know, when you go into a fight and you think that you've done a great performance, you think you have to think about the next one. You have to, you know, elevate to a better, you know, stage in your career where you can obviously achieve even more. So, you know, every time when you go into a fight, you should always think about, what can I do better? What can I learn next? What's next? Like, a lot of people just stick to like, oh, this was a great performance, but you want to keep that consistently with every fight. So, you know, it's getting better, yeah.
Because also you've had some punch perfect performances.
Yeah.
And it must be quite hard to go back to the drawing board and be like, same again, just maybe up the intensity. You know, like.
Yeah, it's like, obviously, you know, you in your career, you're going to have ups and downs performances. That's how boxing works. You know, look at, like, for instance, like, I'll give you an example of
Richard's last night, maybe.
Yeah, him. Like, yeah, Richard's last night. Like, his performance, obviously, obviously he's a camp friend of mine, and you know, everything happens for a reason. Like, and he's done well, like really well. So
in his career,
and his career as well. So it maybe just like, you know, it's just not his night last night. You know, everything happens for a reason, and maybe the next one, like, if he fights him again, he could beat him the next time. So yeah.
I think one thing in boxing, what I'm seeing is the change, and I'm happy to see it, is that a loss is just a loss now. Before it was kind of like, oh, he's done, but like, I'm looking forward to even seeing Craig coming back from that loss, and all these fighters that lost.
And O'Hara
as well, yeah. O'Hara as well, example him. Like, you just know that's boxing, and sometimes I think things wasn't going right with him as well, with that training camp and the fight, like during the fight or whatever. But of course, everything happens for a reason. I feel like he's in a lot better place now, mentally and everything. And yeah, I'm looking forward to him coming back, because, you know, he's actually a great fighter, and I think he's got a lot to show to the world for the people that ain't seen it. But obviously, he's a golden boy, and I think he's gonna do good things, man. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the Mayweather era is over. Protecting that O now, it's the best fight and the best. And I'm sure as long as you have those challenges at the world level, even if you do come short, you're seeing guys coming back. Ryan Garcia, I know he's recently been done for whatever it may be, I don't care. But losing to Tank and being mocked online by millions of people, to now all of a sudden beating Devin Haney, who was on a lot of people's top 5 pound for pound, top 10, is a great turnaround. So I think now people are just taking those fights and going for it. All of your favourite fighters that you know have lost, minus, you know, a couple.
Yeah.
So it is nice that that's changing. And obviously, as you know, boxing for a while was a bit stiff and stale.
It was, yeah.
As a fan, you were seeing all these champions, but you weren't seeing the real fights. Like we were saying off air, you got hopefully Boatsy Yard coming soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be on the undercard of it. Like, we're getting all these fights pretty much every month now.
Yeah.
So
sometimes,
as a fan,
sometimes I lose track with how many good fights are happening now. But before, a couple of years back, 3-4 years back, we was getting these fights probably like twice a year, if that, maybe even once a year.
Yeah.
But now it's every week, and now they're all in the same undercards, these great fights. So I think boxing is in an amazing place. People used to always say, "Oh, boxing ain't like it was," but now might even be better because of the undercards and everything. So we should appreciate now, because maybe in the future we'll call these times the golden times. The same way they say back in days was the golden age and da-da-da. This might be that. So let's just enjoy today and hopefully it gets better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What would you say has been your best win in your career?
My best win, I could say like, well, my favourite win or the best one?
I guess both.
Winning the European title, and the Ukrainian guy, I thought he was really tough. He had 24 fights, and that time he only lost one, and he's won 23. So that was a really tough fight, and I managed to get some rounds in, and that was good.
Brilliant. And what about yourself?
Bro, I think my toughest or my best win?
Both.
I'll be honest here. I think my toughest was more in the amateurs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in the pros, the times where I wanted to move up and step up in a fight, either the opponent pulled out or I just never got the chance to show people what I can really do. So I think that was one of my regrets. Not regrets, but like I really wanted to show people, but it was in God's hands, at that time. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. So who knows, if I ever do maybe decide to come back, then
I think you need to. I was at your last fight and I was very happy to be there just because I didn't even know that would be such a long layoff.
Yeah.
But half of York Hall left when you got out the ring.
Yeah.
Like people want to see you in there, and you've got so much to give.
Yeah.
So it would be great.
No, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that.
I just hope things fall into place. You've got a lot outside of boxing.
Yeah.
It's not just getting in the ring, fighting someone, is it?
Yeah, man. And I remember that's the first day I met you as well, that day. But I remember, yeah, man. And those things, like I said, I miss it, man. And so many people, like, the two most questions I've been asked was before my debut, when is your debut? And now it's, are you come back or when you come back?
Mm-hmm.
So literally everybody's asking me if I see them now. They're like, come back here. That's all I'm hearing right now. So who knows, Right now I'm just training here and there. I'm going to get in the gym more now and just train. But let's see, you never know where life can take you. And if I do come back, I'm going to come back for everything. So, yeah.
What will bring you back? What would get you to that stage where you're going to sign for a fight?
It's weird, yeah, but as days go on and every time I'm in the gym, that's bringing me back itself. And just me watching boxing, and I miss it. Look, I'm going to be honest, I miss it now. Like, I miss it. So I do want to come back, that's the truth. But will I? I don't know. It's a big if, but let's see. A lot of people, they want it. Do I want it? Yeah, I do. But let's see how it goes. Stuff have to make sense. And if it does, then, like I said, who knows?
Brilliant. And going into these big fights, especially now where you're being matched at a level where you are being tested very hard, as elite as you are, you're at the top of your game.
Yep.
How do you manage those nerves, walking out, getting in the ring? Do you have like some people have like a certain routine they do before a fight where they tick all those boxes to feel calm and ready?
Yeah.
Do you have like a set routine you do just so you feel ready to get in there?
To be honest, I don't really have a set routine. I just, go in there. I'm always confident. I'm not nervous. I just want to take the guy's head off. That's basically what my thought is, But what I intend to do sometimes, I just pray, to Allah for keeping me safe in the ring and coming out victorious. And and also I just listen to my trainer. They calm me down. Just like, calm down, relax. Be fine. And my main thing is that I know that the people that are around me, like my family, my team, the people I love, they're around me, so I wouldn't get fazed because I've got a small circle. So
brilliant. So you've obviously got, hopefully, a fight with Harlem Eubank coming up. Are you already preparing for that now, or what's going on?
To be honest, it's nothing like. Hopefully, it'll be August time. Mm-hmm. I'm already preparing now, so I'm already, looking forward to that fight. I'm looking, to, do a destructive job. So I'm not holding back. So I'm putting everything into this fight.
And looking at the bigger names, is there anyone stylistically that you want to fight? Obviously, you want to fight everyone, but is there anyone top of the list that you fancy that you probably take the title off? Or
one day I want to. If I had one person to fight right now, and it's going to be timing, it'd probably be Devin Haney. I don't really rate him that much now after watching Ryan Garcia, dismantle him. So But everything's timing, and obviously I got assessment for my next fight, and that's taking Harlem Eubank out and hopefully doing it in a good way.
Do you think you beat Devin Haney comfortably?
I'll beat him comfortably. I'll beat all those top fighters. I'm not holding back.
Brilliant. And I know we said off air as well that you'd like to go to America a bit more.
Yeah.
Sort of the mecca of boxing, really, isn't it? All the gyms and everything.
It's where the heart of boxing is USA. So
you've been there a few times too, right?
Yeah, I've been there a few times, and it'd be nice if I go out there and do a camp there one day. Obviously with Shane and all that. So getting a bit of experience of sparring out there, and going to Mexico and doing different things. Sparring these top level guys. So.
How do you find fighting out in America? I know it's sparring, but they're pretty much. It is a fight, really.
It's more of like a rowdy place to be. It's like the doghouse when you call it. So when you come over here, it's more calm. They come to spar and leave to go home and eat their lunch. But when you go out there, they ain't holding back. They're here to take your head off. They're here to dismantle you. They get into your head as well. Everyone in there, like such as the crowd, they'll be like, oh, do this, do that, or they're like start swearing at you as well. So I've had it before when I went to America. So it was a good laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, no. And what gyms did you go to when you were out there?
I went a gym in Miami, Pedro Diaz's gym, Miguel Cotto's coach, his former coach, and the experience out there was good. I sparred this Cuban, and it was a rowdy gym, and I ended up actually knocking him out in about the 5th round. Yeah, I knocked him out in the 5th round. Obviously, that time I was really angry because obviously. I was more excited for that fight I had then, but obviously, I got the job done by knocking him out. So
that's incredible. Do you have any footage of you boxing young as a kid, or?
Yeah, I've got everything. I've got I look back at it and see where when I look at that, I think about it all the time. Like, wow, I was like young, fighting. Now I'm here. Hopefully, become a world champion one day. So.
Season 5 of the Not Just Boxing podcast is proudly sponsored by My Meal Prep. My Meal Prep have made it easy for you to stick to your diet goals as well as eating delicious, tasty, homegrown food. Make sure to use the code NJB20 to get 20% off your first order today.
Where do you both see yourself in 3 years' time?
Well, if I do come back to boxing, I see myself where I'm supposed to be, but also I would like to, be a champion with different belts, and maybe even in the next 3 years, if I do come back, fight for a world title. So, look, like I said, if I do come back, just expect a lot of noise. I don't want to say too much, but just expect a lot if I do come back, because I think one of the mistakes I made, in my opinion, was when I done that transition to where I came from to boxing. I don't think I took that side with me to boxing. I kind of let it go. But I was even speaking to Anthony Yard the other day, like me and him went to eat, and I said the same thing to him. I said, what do you think about me bringing that sort of energy into the game? And he said, that's the sort of aggression you need, but channel it in the right way. So, look, a lot of people ain't seen what I know about myself. But like I said, if I do come back, expect a lot of excitement and a lot of good things coming. So yeah, man, I just see myself, inshallah, in a good place, belts, and just in a good place financially, and just helping people and all that stuff, man. That's all I ever wanted to do, So.
And what about yourself?
3 years' time, hopefully becoming undisputed world champion. Hopefully just like, being on top of my game, being like hopefully in the top 10 in the world, and, doing my job, keep knocking people out, hopefully be a bigger name than what I am now. And then hopefully, just like, just inshallah, just become, the best person ever in 3 years' time,
Brilliant. And what do you both do for fun outside of boxing? Is there anything that people don't know? I'd love to know some things about both of you.
My life is quite simple, to be honest. Like what I do for fun, I link in, we go eat.
Where do you eat?
A few places like Turkish, Nusrat.
Oh, you went to recently, yeah. These are
Nusrat, we went living the high life. You
for
know?
birthday.
Yeah, nice. Sounds good.
That was nice though, I can't lie.
You have to when I'm saying living the high life, you think about go at lunchtime at Nusrat, you get £30 altogether. So, yeah. But it's what my socialise I do, I just like chill with my friends, relax, go cinema, eat. That's it, really.
Yeah, simple.
What about
same,
music?
Yeah. Music.
Do you
Yeah.
like music?
Yeah, we listen to music.
But like, it's not a thing like we'll go somewhere just to listen to music. It's just
No, you don't go to like concerts, festivals.
No, not
I mean, no.
Yeah.
Last time.
What's your favourite genre?
You know what? Yeah,
You're gonna say you like everything, didn't you?
you're right. I do.
Yeah.
I swear.
So-
No, but it's crazy because I'll put old school music on, and people are like, "How do you know this song? Like, you're in your 20s," and I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Like, I love the
One
old
of our
school."
reels, we had a great tune. I don't know, we collabed on a song on Instagram.
Jackson
Jackson
5.
5, yeah, it's a
I
great
love,
song.
I love
yeah.
that. You know, I love
Yeah.
the music, mate. You know, I enjoy that. Yeah, but yeah, I love the music. I love old school. I like old school more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But even like the new school, I like certain songs, and artists. So
Yeah, old school is like best. I like the old school
best.
music. Yeah, I love
you know what? Even Bollywood, you know, they're doing their
Bollywood,
thing. I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
lie.
Bollywood,
doing their
yeah.
thing. I can't lie.
Bollywood
But
smashing.
obviously, they're big in the Asian culture.
Yeah.
And even, I mean, they're big in general. But I'm saying, even their music is pretty good, and I enjoy it.
What type of, is there any certain artists that you'd say is top?
You know what's on my yeah? I don't even know. Like, I know certain artists, but like, I know them more through the movies and that, like hearing their songs and that.
Yeah, we know it more of just the actors.
The
you know?
actors, yeah.
the
Like, we used to think the actors are singing it, but they're just
singing,
lip
it's not,
singing
they're
it.
lip singing
And when I
it.
find out, I was like, what? These don't lie to us. You know what I'm saying? So,
They get a million on views, like
millions.
like millions.
30 and 50
Even
and
like
millions,
500 million. They're like,
500 million,
they're-
yeah.
It's because
forget 50, yeah.
that market over there is massive. You know, a lot of
Massive.
people watch it. So.
Yeah. Would you say, what's your top Bollywood movie, maybe?
कुछ कुछ जो होता है.
That's good.
कल हो ना हो.
Kabhi Kushi Kabhi Gum is good still.
मैं हूँ ना.
Oh,
Wow.
Mehuna, yeah. Yo, I used to watch that 8 times a day.
What's it about?
I watched it 8 times a day.
It took me a while to soak all that in.
It's about love.
No, basically,
most
I'll
of
tell
them
you.
about love.
Well, I'll tell you. Basically,
Heartbreaks.
Heartbreaks, a lot of heartbreaks, yeah. But I'll tell you, there's two brothers.
Yeah.
One's in the army, and one's just like a popular kid going to school, whatever. But one's in the army, and the popular kid that's in school, he's living with his mum, who's just obviously like a normal woman, mum, whatever. And the army kid is with the dad, who's obviously in the army as well. He's the commander. But obviously the dad
Died.
he dies, he gets
Yeah.
shot. Can't lie, yeah, he gets shot. And so the other lot, they told the main character, Shah Rukh Khan, to go back to the brother and basically look out for him because obviously there's danger coming and and then love's involved. It's a good movie, you know.
Nice.
I think you should watch it.
Yeah, no,
I
send
swear.
it to me. I'll send it to
I'll
me.
send it to you, I'll
Send me
send it
some
to you.
tunes as well. There's some Bollywood tunes that you probably run to, like they're
Yeah.
quite good
I do,
beats.
I actually do, I can't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mehuna and that.
So I was going to finish up just saying, what would you advise people at home? But you've sort of gone through that, to
We
be
went through
fair.
that,
I'm just trying to think of any good questions whilst I've got both
Oh,
of you
there's
here.
one that you said, but we didn't speak on it. You
Let's
said,
do it.
what would you tell your younger self?
Yes. What would you tell your younger self?
You can answer that question first.
What I tell my younger self, yeah, is, you know, is that question, yeah? I think, like when people say to me, would you ever change anything in the past? And I always say no, because it's what made me today, like what I'm today. Like I've learned what's wrong, what's right. So I would just tell my younger self, just enjoy life as you go on. And enjoy the memories with your people. You know, always stay in touch with your people. And just be good to people, man. I think that'll be my advice. Just be good to people and enjoy every single day as much as you can. And stick with your faith. Because I wish I stuck on my faith the way I do now years back. Maybe I would have been a lot better when I was younger, but also I had to go through that stage to get to this stage. Mm-hmm. So it's a tough question to ask, but I would just say just enjoy every day because regardless of that journey, that's what brought me here today. So, yeah.
Yeah, what you said exactly.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to change something in the past,
Yeah.
you're gonna regret it and all that. But then obviously, everything's written for a reason. So
Yeah.
you can't look, back at it. You think about the future right now.
Can't
so,
regret too much because
Yeah, you can't regret too much. But
That's what made
if you can go back and change everything now, like you got situations that happen past then and anything like in life back then you can do it. You know, no one's going to stop you. But obviously, there's going to be a way where you have to do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just like, look at the future now, stay focused, and the younger version of you back then, you're a better version now. So, and you're going to get a better version even in a couple of years' time.
Yeah.
Amazing. I do have one last quick question.
Let's
and
do it,
then
mate.
we'll wrap it up. Have you thought about life after boxing, as in like in your 30s and 40s, financially, family?
Yeah.
To be honest,
How do you vision that?
Yeah, I have actually. Like, obviously, I want to, invest well, and I want to obviously open gyms in the UK, get everyone off the streets that are obviously looking for trouble. The other thing is like, I want to look after my family. Like in my late 30s, like hopefully be married by then, in my 30s or so, something, and hopefully having a good family, giving them the time of their life as well, and hopefully even boxing. Then I'll probably be like coaching like particular people and trying to hopefully become world champion themselves as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think one thing I want to do in the future is like build mosques, just help the poor people, and yeah, like just financially, like he said, help your family, your friends and people around the world, and especially with what is going on in the world even right now with all this, genocides and all that madness. Like it's sad to see, like, and I think us people with platforms need to speak about it, because if we're not speaking about it, who's gonna speak about it, And I know like sports guys, certain of them, they're just like, they keep it just sports. But remember, where you get certain sports people, they get chose to be like presidents and that. You can see Manny Pacquiao, him get involved with like the government side of stuff, and Klitschko's, and so even though we're sportsmen,
we're role models.
We're role models, yes. And I think people don't realize how much power you have and how much influence you have with that. So look, all this stuff that's happening, I'm going to say it, in Palestine and all this sort of stuff, like, I'm going to always speak about it if I have a chance to speak about it, because I think, and that's one of the things I spoke about, if I do come back to boxing, it will be for that, one of the main reasons, but obviously, of course, the other reasons is what I explained, but that would just be to help, because they're in that zone of the people that we need to help. And of course, what we want is to help people. Like we spoke about him, and we spoke about so many times about helping people in need and all that stuff. So I think definitely with what's going on, if we can make a little change just by speaking about it, then why not do it? So
yeah, I know it's not a selfish act to help other people, but it does give you that really nice feeling knowing that you're making a difference.
100%.
I was in Indonesia during the earthquakes. I managed to raise money, help people that, like, the government weren't going to certain villages, right? I went to 12 different villages,
Wicked,
gave them all, food for however long.
I love that.
Everything. And even though it was nice and it was only for a week where I was making that difference, when I left, I knew they were still living that life. And I feel, even though you spread that positivity, it does help, but it is very difficult. And unfortunately, the way the world's going at the moment, my opinion, you've got these small amount of people that are pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
No one wants war. No one wants death.
No.
No one wants it. It's horrible, but there's so much money, and there's the minute few people that are pulling those strings. And I just feel like it's good speaking about it, and I like seeing it.
It is. And there's a lot of corruption in the world.
It's so difficult. It's such a hard situation.
It is.
I think helping people in front of you is the best thing you can do.
And like you said you left that place and you thought about them not still living like that, but you done a great job going there and just giving them that happiness at that moment. And that's what it's about. Just, even if I come to you and say, yo man, you're looking in shape today, or you're looking good today, or like just complimenting you, that little moment where you're happy from someone's words or actions make the biggest difference, man. So I think it's good.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you both on.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.